Travis Wayne Goodsell. Looks like I have time to do a comment reply video before my morning run here. Today is Thursday, 28th of September 2023, as we have the harvest gathering upon us, which all of Scripture prophesied is the day that shall burn as an oven. And whether or not the enemy that shall do this will go through with it or not, that's on them. Because I learned about it, I'm reporting it and warning you of it. The prophets of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will not be holding their weekly meeting today. They gotta go into wardrobe and makeup as they rehearse for conference, so that nobody says anything contrary to Nelson. Can't have a Brother Pullman or an Elder Pullman incident again. When the Book of Mormon says it's in the learning of the Jews, Mormons are instantly wrong when they interpret that as the learning of the non-Trinitarian Christianity. And Mormons are just unwilling to see that. Those who are left in the church. And because they refuse to change their mind, which is the correct translation of the Greek word that is incorrectly translated as repent, they are weapons full of anger, hate, and violence. Because you cannot have a seed that is corrupt produce good fruit. It cannot be done. And even though Mormons can understand that, they don't study their scriptures to know it. Yesterday I had a Mormon who denounced the Joseph Smith papers because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints refuses to use the Joseph Smith papers to correct the errors they made on Joseph Smith's works. They purposely are lying and deceiving you. And just like a deadly cult group that causes the members to commit suicide, what's the law of sacrifice again, Mormons? What bicentennial year is this? Second vision. For what? The day that shall burn as an oven. And Joseph Smith adds, they that come shall burn you. Because Jesus is not real, the enemy must self-fulfill the evil of the Bible. And those at the lead get the puppets to do all the dirty work. and the devil never supports their own. They are suicide jihadist kamikazes. And Mormons are only promised 10 virgins, not 72. On my video, President Russell Marion Nelson to announce national divorce for LDS April 2023 General Conference. So yes, past conferences are going to pick up also. That's what happens. And if you are not listening to the news, because last night I put a supporting comment on a Young Turks news video on YouTube. And the MAGA trolls saw me as fresh meat. And they fell right into the trap. Because I watch the news. I know what's going on. You see, MAGA used to watch Fox until Fox got sued for lying to their audience. These are things that people need to know and be aware of. Right now, we're about to shut down the government. Trump has been indicted for rape. The Carole King, or is that the singer? Can't remember her name. But she won. Trump is now a convicted rapist. And then he tried to defame her after that conviction and lost his defamation suit. And then this week, he's now a business fraud. He's convicted. But MAGA, they don't hear that in their news. Their news doesn't cover it. And so they never hear and find out that their glorious chosen one Trump is a criminal, convicted. And so yesterday I saw that Biden is now going through his impeachment hearing, day one. And yeah, it's bogus. But if you've been paying attention to the news long before the midterms, MAGA were screaming for an impeachment of Biden and Harris. They're gonna do it. You know they're gonna be outraged if Biden gets convicted in the Senate. If he becomes the first president to be removed, not just impeached, because he'll just be added to a list. This is what the MAGA have been threatening to coup America with. And who's behind it all? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, claiming Jesus is going to do it. But we are witnessing in real time that it's MAGA and the church. You didn't think the Respect for Marriage Act is the Respect for Marriage Act, did you? It's the Disrespect for Marriage Act, because the church put in their exemption clause. It's null and void. And yet the Democrats had a big signing parade. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene is the one who called for a national divorce. And she was also calling previous that states secede from the nation. You have to pay attention to the news. These people are running our government. This isn't just political speech. There's no such thing. They use it as an excuse to justify their criminal behavior, seditious behavior in government. And the Constitution has a clause that they were supposed to be removed from office. And Republicans never remove themselves from office after a scandal. It's only Democrats. But the Democrat senator is refusing to leave, even though he's now going to court. For bribery, all congresspersons are guilty of bribery. How do you think they make the laws that favor big corporations? And the Supreme Court Justice. Everybody knows. The news is showing us the documents. I've been showing you the Council for National Policy that the church runs and operates. They're responsible. The church is overthrowing our government. But nope, only Democrats get punished. That should scare you. The kingmen are winning. And so that video, the national divorce for last April conference, the honey badger replied. Now, I had a honey badger. She claimed to be from Nevada, working on a ranch. And she had been following me for a little while. I couldn't get her to communicate. But every now and then she'd throw in a comment that seemed to support me. Until I think it was last week. She said something that was inappropriate. And I have a non-tolerance policy for inappropriate comments. And I had to let her go. And so I find it strange that a week later, the honey badger now shows up for the first time. The comment is, why don't you find a church you can be happy with and put your whole heart, might, mind, and soul into it? This is a threat. It doesn't sound like a threat, does it? It's because you've not watched The Godfather, or The Sopranos, or any other crime organization. I watched Sympathy for the Devil, the new one with Nicolas Cage. And, yeah. Evil doesn't always come right out and expose themselves as evil. They mask it with veiled threats. This is a veiled threat. See, they're telling me to leave the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints alone, to let them do their seditious overthrow of the government, and to go find some other church. This person has not been watching my channel, because if they did, they'd know there is no church for me to join. There is only corruption. All churches are wrong. That the actual church that Joseph Smith started needs to be restored. And this is the denialism of Mormons. They have replaced Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon with Christianity. And so they are anti-Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon in the learning of the Jews. That's the religion I want to be happy with. But the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints won't let me because they replaced it. They are fraudulently using Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon to make money off of Mormons and to hoard that money to destroy the United States of America and burn Mormons with it. This is what Joseph Smith prophesied. But because Mormons replaced Joseph, Mormons don't see the prophecies. They only see what they want to see. So the Book of Mormon is one big book of prophecy. But Mormons, because they replaced it, only see certain key passages as being prophecies that have already happened. Jesus. The Book of Mormon is true because it prophesied Jesus would be born during the Roman period time. That's not the learning of the Jews. That's a prophecy for right now. Not being born, but now meaning the time period. Not the Roman time period. And so this was evil of the honey badger, who's trolling me, obviously. And then there was see, this is why I don't want to accept a comment and do a reply in a chain to people who are refusing to accept the truth. It's because you get other people who want to join in and support the commenter and so on. Impossible to soundly defend as true the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There was a user who thought that he would throw in a fallacy argument in support of the original person, Perla, which she has not replied. Interesting. And then we have the big lie of Mormonism, where I showed you Nelson violating the Joseph Smith papers, refusing to confess that he replaced the Jewish Joseph Smith in Book of Mormon. And so we got Daniel Lauder. It's not Joseph Smith's church. It is Christ's church. Who's the name of the church? Jesus? They just refuse to speak the truth. They do not understand their scriptures because they're using Christian interpretation on them. They have replaced the Jews. And so the stories of Jesus, they think they've already happened. It's literal history. And they miss that the Jews are prophesying of the latter days right now. Christians and Mormons don't see it. They refuse to acknowledge that the Jews are prophesying. And so when Joseph Smith in the Joseph Smith history is talking to the Methodist preacher, And the Methodist preacher said all prophecies and revelations ceased with the apostles of Jesus. That's exactly what Joseph Smith was talking about. And then this morning, I found replacing Joseph Smith and Book of Mormon prophecies with literal history lies and fallacy. Tim B. Wilson argues in defense of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to prove it's true, comments a vile hate comment, which is a threat. Man, you look like you've been skipping too much medication. Are you a medical doctor? Oh, you're not referring to medical doctor? You're referring to the fake field of psychology? Nobody looks like when you are not a medically licensed medical doctor. You are practicing medicine without a license. This is what bullies do because of psychology. Psychology has weaponized him. And who embraces psychology? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.